When discovery doesn't work quite as expected in device 42, there are several options you have to help determine what went wrong. When you're viewing any specific discovery job, there's a convenient table that will give you an overview of the successes and failures of that job. You can see how many port check failures there were, how many authorization failures, discovery exceptions, etc. You will also see how many devices were newly added versus updated, and how many may have ended up in our on-process table or have ran into errors. On the left here, you'll also see a status table that will show you the progress of the basic and advanced discoveries for that particular job. Clicking any of these links in the discovery details will give you an overview of the discovery scores for every device in that job. This discovery status page is available under our reports menu under the discovery scores link. And by default, it will show you all of the successes and failures across any job within your environment. On the right, you could filter by job name if you wanted to see the status for a particular job. You could also filter by the failures, so you can see any addresses where there was a port check failure, authorization failure, etc. Clicking any of these devices will bring you to that device record. You can also view discovery score information on a device record itself under the Other tab. At the bottom, you'll see a discovery scores section, which will show you any of the historic auto discovery jobs that have been ran on against that target, the job that they came from, and some details about the success or failure. Additionally, we'd have some standard reports included in our advanced reporting in device 42 that have the discovery status information available. You can export these reports individually or schedule them to be ran and emailed to you on a periodic basis. You could view these within device 42 or use the Excel exports to see that same information outside of device 42. When it comes to testing some of the particular failures that may have happened in discovery, one good place to do that is the device 42 Appliance Manager. You can access it under Tools, Appliance Manager from within device 42. Once you're logged into the Appliance Manager, there's a connectivity test section. This will allow you to target any device from device 42 to make sure connectivity succeeds. Here you could enter a single IP address to ping. You could also test SNMP discovery or use Netcat to check a particular port. In this case, let's go ahead and do that. We'll test the default FTP port on a given server's IP address here. When we hit submit, we'll see a result that says Netcat successfully connected. That tells us that device 42 can reach that address on that port. Alternatively, if we had tried a port that failed, device 42 would give us a different result. Connection refused. You can also use traceroute to make sure that we are able to fully connect to a particular IP address. For Windows devices, if you would like to make sure that WMI connectivity can succeed, the best way to do that would be through Microsoft's WBEMTest tool. That's included by default in Windows, and by executing it, you can point to a targeted Windows server. It's best to be ran from the same server that your Windows Discovery service is deployed on to ensure that the connectivity is successful from that server. You would enter the IP address of one of the target Windows servers that you're attempting to connect to, and include the credentials that you're using under the service account that device 42 is running as to connect to these Windows servers. Once you hit connect here, the tool will then try to authenticate on that system, and will be able to present you with all your namespace classes. Should this succeed, it's proof to you that the connectivity is successful and the account is able to log on. If you would like to test connectivity to any of your targets from one of your remote collectors, you can do that by logging into your remote collector via SSH. From the menu, choose the Utilities option, and then the Netcat or SNMP connectivity options. Netcat, again, will allow you to specify a particular IP address and port, and then you could check connectivity. In this case, we see, again, it succeeded. That wraps up some of the common auto-discovery troubleshooting steps we take in Device 42. If those don't seem to fix it, we can also gather a log bundle under the application settings, generate log bundle, and if you reach out to us at support, we'll be able to analyze that log and help understand exactly where the difficulties are coming from.